Imagine an animal with a duck bill, a beaver tail, and venomous feet.
And when scientists first saw it, they thought someone had sewn animal parts together as a joke.
Hi, I'm Joanna.
And I'm Ian. Welcome to Easy English Cozy Learning.
So the platypus. It really does look like a mix of different animals.
It does. And that reaction we just mentioned, that actually happened. Back in 1799, a British scientist named George Shaw got the first platypus skin from Australia. He was so suspicious that he took scissors and tried to find stitching on the bill.
He literally tried to pull the bill off?
He thought someone had glued a duckbill onto another animal's body.
I mean, I can't blame him. It does look unreal.
But the platypus is very real. It lives in freshwater rivers and streams in eastern Australia.
And here's what makes it even stranger. It's a mammal.
Right. Mammals usually have fur, feed their babies milk, and give birth to live young. The platypus does the first two, but it lays eggs.
Eggs, like a bird or a reptile.
Exactly. It's one of only 5 mammals in the world that lay eggs. They're called monotremes, and the platypus is the most famous one.
So it has features of mammals, birds, and reptiles all in one body.
And we're not just talking about how it looks. Its genes prove it. Scientists finished mapping the platypus genome and found something amazing. Its DNA contains gene elements from reptiles, birds, and mammals all mixed together.
That's wild. So it's not just a funny-looking animal. It's a real living piece of evolution.
A very old piece. The platypus family split from other mammals about 166 million years ago. That's even before the dinosaurs went extinct.
Okay, I already think the platypus is strange, but I heard it has a really weird number of chromosomes too?
You mean sex chromosomes? Yes. Humans have 2. One pair, XX for female, XY for male.
Simple enough.
The platypus has 10 sex chromosomes.
10?
10. Female platypuses have 10 X chromosomes. Males have 5X and 5Y.
That sounds incredibly complicated. How does that even work during cell division?
In human cells, the 2 sex chromosomes just pair up neatly, side by side. But in a male platypus, those 10 chromosomes line up end to end, like a long chain. Sometimes they even form a ring shape.
A ring? That sounds like it could go wrong very easily.
You'd think so, but it works perfectly. The chain makes sure all the X chromosomes go to one side and all the Y chromosomes go to the other.
Nature figured it out somehow. But why 10? Why not just 2 like us?
Well, the platypus sex chromosomes are actually more similar to bird chromosomes than to ours. Humans have a gene called SRY that decides male development. The platypus doesn't have that gene at all.
So even the way it becomes male or female is completely different from us.
Completely. And this tells scientists that our human XY system is actually much younger than we thought. It evolved after the platypus family went its own way, about 166 million years ago.
Okay, my brain needs a break from chromosomes. Tell me something else weird about the platypus.
How about this? The platypus has no stomach.
No stomach? Every animal has a stomach, right?
Not the platypus. Most animals have a stomach that makes strong acid to break down food. But inside a platypus, there's almost nothing between the throat and the intestine. Just a tiny flat pouch with no acid and no digestive enzymes.
So it just skips that whole step?
It does. And it's not just that the stomach shrank over time. The genes for stomach acid and digestive enzymes are completely gone.
Gone? Like deleted?
Deleted. The body doesn't just ignore those genes. They don't exist anymore. Scientists say the platypus threw away the stomach and destroyed the recipe for making one.
But how does it digest food without a stomach?
The platypus eats small creatures from the bottom of rivers. Things like shrimp, beetles, and worms. Many of these have hard shells made of calcium, which is very alkaline.
So if it had a stomach full of acid, the shells would just cancel out the acid?
Exactly. The platypus would waste a huge amount of energy making acid that doesn't even work. So over millions of years, losing the stomach actually became an advantage.
That's clever. But if there's no acid to soften food, how does it break everything down?
Adult platypuses don't have real teeth. They lose them after they stop drinking milk. Instead, they have rough grinding pads made of keratin, the same stuff as your fingernails.
So they grind food with their fingernails, basically?
Kind of. They also scoop up small stones and sand along with their food. They store everything in little cheek pouches, then come to the surface and grind it all together. The food becomes a very fine paste, and the intestine absorbs the nutrients directly.
No teeth, no stomach, no acid. And it works just fine.
For over 100 million years. So, yes, it works.
Now I want to know about how it hunts. Because I heard it closes its eyes underwater?
It does. When the platypus dives, its eyes close, its ears seal shut, and its nostrils close too.
So it's basically blind, deaf, and can't smell anything underwater.
Right. But it still catches tiny shrimp hiding in the mud at the bottom of dark rivers.
How?
Its bill. That soft, flat bill is covered with about 40,000 tiny electric sensors.
40,000, that's a lot.
And that's just the electric ones. It also has thousands of sensors that detect water movement. So it picks up two kinds of signals: electric fields from the muscles of small animals and tiny water waves from their movement.
Like a double radar system.
Exactly like that. And here's the clever part. Electric signals travel through water almost instantly, like the speed of light. But water waves travel much slower.
So the platypus gets the electric signal first and the wave signal a tiny bit later?
Right. And special brain cells measure the time difference between those two signals. From that, the platypus can calculate exactly how far away the prey is and in which direction.
That's basically how radar works.
The same idea. Scientists say the math behind it is similar to how weather radar measures distance.
And all of this without opening its eyes.
Nature gave it something better than eyes for hunting in muddy rivers.
So far, the platypus sounds harmless and cute. But I've heard it's actually venomous?
It is. The male platypus has a sharp, hollow spur on each back ankle. Those spurs connect to venom glands in its legs.
Only the males?
Only the males. And the venom gets much stronger during mating season. Scientists believe the venom first evolved as a weapon for fighting other males over mates.
So they kick each other with venomous spurs?
They do. And the venom is no joke. It contains at least 19 different toxic proteins. If a human gets stung, the pain is extreme. It can last for weeks or even months.
Months? Can't they just take painkillers?
That's the scary part. Regular painkillers, even strong ones like morphine, barely help. The venom attacks nerve cells in a way that bypasses normal pain pathways.
That sounds terrifying. But I read somewhere that platypus venom might help with medicine?
You're right. There's a hormone in the venom called GLP-1. In humans, GLP-1 helps control blood sugar after we eat. It tells the body to release insulin.
I've heard of that. Isn't that related to diabetes drugs?
It is. But the problem is, human GLP-1 breaks down in the blood very quickly, in just a few minutes. That makes it hard to use as medicine.
And the platypus version is different?
Very different. The platypus uses the same GLP-1 in two places, in its gut for blood sugar and in its venom for fighting. Because the venom needs to last a long time inside the enemy's body, the platypus evolved a version that doesn't break down easily.
So it's naturally long-lasting, which is exactly what diabetes medicine needs to be.
Exactly. Scientists tested it and found that this platypus GLP-1 still works perfectly on insulin cells. It could become a model for designing better, longer-lasting diabetes drugs.
A venomous spur that might help millions of people. That is such an unexpected twist.
And the surprises don't stop there. Remember how we said the platypus lays eggs?
Yes, that's already strange for a mammal.
Well, it also feeds its babies milk, but in the weirdest way possible. The mother platypus has no nipples.
No nipples? Then how does she feed the babies?
Milk oozes out through patches of skin on her belly. kind of like sweat. The babies just lie on her fur and lick the milk off.
That sounds messy and very risky for infections.
It is. The nest is an underground burrow, dark and full of dirt and bacteria. For tiny babies with no immune system, drinking milk off dirty fur could be deadly.
So, how do the babies survive?
The milk itself is the answer. Scientists found a special protein in platypus milk with a unique folded shape. This protein can kill bacteria by destroying their outer walls.
So, the milk is like a natural antibiotic?
A very powerful one. And because it kills bacteria in a physical way, not a chemical way, scientists think bacteria can't easily become resistant to it.
That's huge, especially now when antibiotic resistance is such a big problem.
Some researchers hope this protein could inspire new drugs to fight superbugs.
So, platypus milk might save human lives too. This animal keeps getting more amazing.
There's one more thing I want to talk about. Have you seen those photos of platypuses glowing green under UV light?
Yes, those photos look magical. Like something from a sci-fi movie.
So here's the story. In 2020, some American scientists were studying lichen at night with UV lamps. They decided to try shining the light on platypus specimens in a museum, just out of curiosity.
And the fur started glowing?
Bright green. Under normal light, platypus fur looks dark brown. But under UV light, it glows cyan and green.
So the fur absorbs UV light and sends back visible green light?
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. Is this glow something special about platypuses?
I'm guessing you're about to say no.
You're right. When scientists tested 125 different mammal species, almost all of them showed some level of glow. Even humans, koalas, cats, and dogs.
Wait, so all mammals glow?
In a way, yes. The glow comes from a chemical in hair called tryptophan, which is part of the keratin protein. All mammal hair has it. But dark fur with lots of melanin absorbs the UV light and hides the glow.
So the platypus glows more because parts of its fur are lighter and have less melanin?
Exactly. Its belly fur has very little dark pigment, so the natural glow shows through.
And nocturnal animals probably glow brighter too, right? Because sunlight would break down the glowing chemicals.
That's exactly what researchers found. Animals that stay out of the sun keep more of these chemicals in their fur. So the platypus glow is probably just a side effect of its body chemistry and nighttime lifestyle.
That's a little less magical, but honestly, even more fascinating.
And there's a practical side to it. Some scientists now want to use UV cameras near rivers at night. They could detect that faint green glow to track platypus movements without disturbing them.
So even an accidental glow could become a real conservation tool.
The platypus really is full of surprises. From ancient eggs to glowing fur to diabetes medicine.
It's one of those animals that makes you realize nature is way more creative than we are.
If you enjoy our content,
Keep learning with Easy English Cozy Learning. We'll see you next time.